This is Navi strategy number 2, manage callouts. You will need the following materials before you get started: paper and a pencil, and energy for practice. Before we dive in, let's take a look at this classroom. Think about the following questions. How does the class feel when the student shouts out the answer? And how does this affect the teacher's ability to check for understanding?
Can anyone tell me what is a quarter of 8?
2.
Rochelle, hands up, don't shout out. But yes, 2 is the right answer.
You know you make me wanna shout.
Right, can anyone tell me what a third of 9 is? Rochelle, put your hands up. Anyone else put their hands up? Okay. If I was to ask you, how would you say in French, my name is? Rochelle, okay, you're shouting out again. Okay. Right, can any of you give me an example of a pronoun? Yes, right, but Rochelle, honestly, put your hand up. What is a noun?
You just saw an example of a teacher asking open-ended questions, where it's implied that any student can answer. The student in the video wants to answer every question, but by doing this, the other students feel left out and annoyed. The teacher can't gauge the room or check for understanding because one student continues to shout out and answer everything. I wonder what the teacher could have done differently to help students not yell out answers. Participants will be able to independently rephrase questions by targeting the exact response wanted from students and simulate a lesson using the rephrased questions. Let's see Navigator teachers practice this technique using multiple strategies. As you watch this video, look for: how does the first teacher phrase her question? And what opportunities do the teachers give so that multiple students can answer the questions without disrupting the lesson?
Raise your hand if you can give me a main idea in one sentence. Track, Layla.
Mr. Garcia has. Tell your partner, or show your partner what it looks like and why you drew it like that. Okay, you're a pair?
Sure.
Can the tens share a column with the ones? No way! Hey, scoot over, ten! Scoot over!
If she thought it was like a really good thing, like she would probably make it into a story. So maybe she thinks that maybe she's like inspired type, like kind of by her father, so she made the story because he's like brave.
When you see that you want to go?
Please pause this video to reflect on the questions either aloud with a group or silently by yourself. Now that you've had a chance to reflect, the first teacher asked her question, starting with, raise your hand if. This tells students immediately what type of response she is looking for. She wants a raised hand. The other teachers use strategies such as turn and talk and call and response so that multiple students have a chance to express their thoughts and opinions in a structured way. We also saw students utilizing the build hand signal. This classroom norm helps facilitate conversations and lets the group know that the student has something to say without interrupting the other student who is talking. Why do you think this technique would be important for student engagement? Please pause this video to discuss with the group or silently reflect. This technique is important for student engagement because, as you saw in the hook video, other students do not appreciate others shouting out. Students want to be able to voice their thoughts and ideas. When a teacher manages the callouts, the flow of your lesson will be smooth and students will be engaged. So we've come to our core idea. Manage callouts by explicitly indicating what type of response you are looking for from students. This will decrease disruptions and increase student engagement. So how can you manage callouts? There are many different strategies to use. One is simply asking for raised hands. For example, please raise your hand if you know the answer to number 3. You can also have students silently vote using a thumbs up or down. For example, thumbs up if you think uniforms should be required in school. Or students could use their habits of discussion and use their agree, disagree, or build hand signals. The teacher could present a turn and talk starting on a particular cue. For example, turn and talk with your partner about the key words in this problem. Go. The teacher could also initiate a call and response. This technique is described in more detail in the professional development call and response. For your practice session, rephrase the following questions by targeting the exact response you want from students in order to manage callouts. Pause this video to complete the activity. Now that you've rewritten those questions, simulate a lesson asking the questions that you rewrote with your group. Pause this video to complete each group member's lesson. We've come to our final reflection. Please pause this video to complete the multi-flow map. The event is student shouts out answer to question. What would the causes of that event be? Write them on the left. And what would the effects of the event be? Write them on the right. Thank you for watching the Manage Callouts Professional Development.